John Zogby, President and CEO of Zogby International, has just released a book about the status and the future of the American Dream. The title is The Way Will Be. It's published by Random House, and he now discusses the themes from the book with his son, Jeremy Zogby.
The Way Will Be. Can you tell us a little bit about the title?
Basically, Random House asked me to take a look into the future, in the short-term future, and just take a look at what kind of shape the American people will be in over the next decade and a half, especially focusing on consumers.
A big part of your book is about meta movements. What are meta movements?
You know, a book came out about a year ago called Micro Trends, in which the author, Mark Penn, was trying to zero in on all the little clusters of groups that are new ways of identifying Americans. I was more comfortable doing it the other way around. What are some of the things that most of us share? What are some of the major developments over the last 15 years into the next 10 or 15 years that tell a big story about the majority, our large numbers of Americans?
And one of these meta movements is secular spiritualism. What do you mean exactly by secular spiritualism?
We're in the middle of a reawakening, and it's only going to continue. Americans are moving away from materialism, away from the desire to acquire lots of things. For some, it's that they've achieved so much and obtained so much that they now are saying to themselves, is this all there is? There's got to be more to life. For others, it's been forced on them. 1 in 4, more than 1 in 4, 27% of Americans tell us they're working at a job that pays less. They can't simply afford to continue the materialistic American dream. So more Americans tell us that the American dream is something internal to me, is something about self-fulfillment, about leading a more genuine life.
Another meta movement, First Globals. This seems to be one of the most exciting of the topics, probably because I'm a part of this. Could you say a little bit about who these First Globals are and what do they look like?
I identify them. They're 18 to 29-year-olds who have a passport. And there's 42% and growing of that age group that have passports. And by virtue of being young and having been exposed to the rest of the world, and then having a passport, which means that they have either traveled or intend to travel throughout the world or other places in the world, it suggests a more cosmopolitan, much more global view of their life here on Earth than previous cohorts of 18 to 29-year-olds, or for that matter, other age groups as well today. What do they look like? Well, they look more like you than they do like me. Meaning age-wise they're younger. But demographically, they tend to be more college educated. Demographically, they tend to be more upscale. But that's not always the case. It also includes some who have not finished college or even attended college. This is the same for kids who've grown up in rural areas and small towns, big cities and small cities. But because they've been exposed to the internet, because they've been exposed to global music and global fashion, because the rest of the world is available to them either by travel or via information technologies like handheld computers, they have just a far different view. More of them are likely to say, I am a citizen of the planet Earth, than are likely to say, I'm a citizen of the United States.
So certainly you can say that this generation has something special going for them. What about the notion that they can have more of a significant impact than previous generations?
I think that they can and they will, simply because the playing field is so much larger. Can you have more of an impact if you're playing half-court basketball on teams of 3, or playing in the NBA and traveling city to city playing full court? Basically, new globals, 23% First Globals, tell us, I expect to live and work in a foreign capital at some point in my life. The whole world is their purview. is how they define themselves, and their role in that world is to see that they have some kind of an impact.
You talk about demanding authenticity. Demographically speaking, do you see this trend across the board?
I do. It's everyone from the Walmart and the Costco shopper, and those are the consumers who are growing, those who are seeking value but spending less money, all the way up really to the more upscale shopper, who are telling us, don't sell me fantasy and don't sell me emotion, sell me the product. You know, the old marketing slogan used to be, it's the sizzle, not the steak. The new American consumer is saying, sell me the steak and tell me what it's all about. And we're seeing this over and over again. Don't sell me the fancy car, you know, from the fins in the 1950s to, you know, some sort of zippy design. Sell me a car that works. Don't sell me a truck, or don't sell me an SUV. Don't sell me a Hummer. Those days are gone. Gas prices certainly have a lot to do with it, but this was even before the spike in gas prices. Consumers are telling us, be real. And you want to know something? Voters are too. And this book was written before the 2008 campaign, but in so many ways, the two candidates that emerged, John McCain on the Republican side, Barack Obama on the Democratic side, are the most authentic candidates that their parties could have nominated.
Pollster John Zogby and his son Jeremy Zogby talking about John Zogby's new book, The Way Will Be, now available everywhere.